மா நீ பேசுற டிஎஸ் கிடையாதுமா?
என்ன சார்?
ஒன்றும் இல்லைம்மா நீங்க. மேம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க. யார் வராங்களோ அவங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
எஸ்
நான்
சார்.
வெளியில போறேன். ம்
எஸ் சார்.
தேங்க்யூ.
The presenter, please kindly turn on your video. Yes. Can you hear my voice, Pa?
Yeah, I can hear your voice, madam.
Okay. Can you able to share your PPT? Share your screen?
Can you wait a minute, ma'am? One of the authors is joining now. Murali, are you there? His name is Murali.
Okay. One instruction I will give. You will take 7 minutes to give your presentation. Then we have the 3 minutes for queries. Please take this much time only, because other presenters also want to present their views. No.
Okay, ma'am. Sure, I will take care of that.
Thank you.
Hello, Murali, are you there? Sir, sir, is my voice audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You can start.
Wait, just a minute. Another author is joining. Okay, ma'am, I'm starting the PPT.
Okay. Share your screen.
Can you see my screen, ma'am?
Yes. Make it full view. Very good. You carry on.
My paper is on making a robot which is feasible for and useful for the blind, visually challenged persons. I am using technology and OCR and IoT systems. So the primary feature of my bot is that when a person has a text and if he wants to read it, means we are having a camera in the bot, and then it will recognize the text, it will recognize the photo, and it will extract the text from the photo, and then it will convert it to voice output. That is the main feature of our product. And this small robot is used indoor in the room, in the houses. So we are having a line following system so that the robot can be able to move in other rooms. And the processor I am using here is Raspberry Pi system, and also I'm also having IoT features so that the blind persons can control the home appliances through this bot. This is a survey you are seeing here on blind people. So this is a flow chart of the manufacturing process of the bot which I'm using a Raspberry Pi here, which has a webcam in front so that it will be capturing the photo which the blind people wants to convert it to voice output. And the line following, for the line follower, I'm using a IR sensor, that dual IR sensor, and color coding will be placed on all the rooms. It will be interconnected to all the rooms. Then I'm also having a IoT feature, that is voice controlled the robot. These are the components I am using here. These are specification of Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. It's operating at 1.4 GHz frequency band. Previous models have some connectivity issues, so I'm using here Raspberry Pi 3B Plus.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Kindly explain your project, what you did for. No need to explain about Raspberry Pi, RFID, and Bluetooth.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You just explain what you did. Okay.
Sir, this is the image synthesis mechanism I'm using here, sir. I'm using OpenCV libraries and Tesseract packages to extract the text here, sir. This is a sample input image, sir. Then I'm using segmentation and grayscale conversion process. I'm converting it to black and white, and then I'm extracting the words, and then I'm using certain libraries and functionalities so that it is converted to the voice output here. This is the line follower setup I have made here. Dual IR sensor is amplified through operation amplifier, and through the microcontroller, I'm giving it to the DC motors output for the locomotion purpose. This is the voice control IoT feature here. The Raspberry Pi 3 is connected to the internet, and I'm having a serial communication. I'm having a serial communication with the Arduino Nano through relays here, so that the blinds can convert the lights and fan output here. The output you are seeing is the final prototype that I obtained. On the top image is the bot which we have made, and on the bottom, you are seeing a IoT controlled using Arduino Nano here. On the future scope, our paper can be extracted using CNN networks. I have published this paper on another one international conference here, and I also applied for the Manakula Vinayaga Award for this. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
What happened, you said? What happened?
I don't know, ma'am. The voice, I'm also hearing the voice.
Sendil sir, can you able to hear voice?
I am not able to hear sir's voice, ma'am. I'm only able to hear your voice.
Wait. Sendil sir?
Hello.
Other presenter, please, you can mute your side. Already presentation is going on. Please, other presenter, please kindly mute your side. Yes, now it is fine.
Okay. I need some clarification in your. The same paper is already presented in some other conferences.
No, sir, we didn't present it in any other conference, sir. We just applied it, sir, for that. That's it. But we didn't present it.
Presented or presented or just applied now?
Just applied for it. It was accepted to present, but we didn't present it in that.
Okay, don't do the same topic in the two places. Okay, once it's presented means you try with some other topic in some.
Yeah, I didn't present it, sir. So only I have presented this conference, sir.
Okay.
I applied it, but I couldn't make it out, sir. That's the reason.
I having one doubt.
Okay, sir.
From camera means video.
Yes, sir.
How to convert video into text? What concept we are using?
I am not converting video, sir. Actually, the camera will only take a photo, sir. In that
Okay,
photo
image.
only, it will be converting to text, sir.
No.
Okay, image. How to convert into text format? What concept we are using?
Yes, sir. I will explain it, sir. First, the process is called grayscale mapping, sir. The image would be color images, sir. It would be converted into black and white text, first process. Then the segmentation process occurs. In that, each word will be segmented separately, and each letters in that word also will be segmented separately. There is a Python inbuilt library for that in the OpenCV Tesseract module, sir. After segmenting it, we would be obtaining the word in text format. Like if we put it in a computer, it would be in text format. We would import the text format to Google text-to-speech library. Inbuilt Python library is there, sir. After we import it there, we can convert it through voice output. So it will be converted to MP3 file, and the audio will be played through the speaker.
Whether you are converted to no. Normally, image means in the form of pixels.
Yes, sir.
Pixel.
I can't.
How your pixels? Each image is consist of pixels.
Yes, sir.
Pixel with gray level.
Yes,
How
sir.
you are grouping group of pixels into that is a text format.
Yes, sir. The OpenCV is an open source project, sir, that is implemented by Google, actually, sir. They have given inbuilt libraries to implement it for us, sir. The library would be segmenting each and every line, sir. That is the process happening.
What is the resolution of your camera?
Camera is 480p, sir.
480
Pixel P.
pixel means 480 mega or 480 size.
Megapixel. The resolution will be in 480. That is what I am saying.
Voice control. Are you using both things, voice and what is on image? Both things you are controlling your robot?
Yes, sir. It will convert the image to voice. That is the concept, sir. We are having a speaker in that. Also, we are having a headphone port. Like if the blind people want to hear it through headphone jack, we are having a headphone port. AUX cable, you can connect it to it.
Okay. I think you are converting all the data, storing into cloud. You are storing into cloud or not?
Actually, yes, sir. We need internet connectivity for that, sir. So storage is very less needed, yes, sir. All the conversion process is made by online only. Only the voice MP3 file is stored in our system. That would be around 10 MB only.
In your project, which will connect to cloud, whether Arduino or Raspberry Pi?
Raspberry Pi, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, I think it's same thing is already there now. What is your new innovation is there?
Actually, the system is there, sir. The OCR technology is there. I have implemented it in a pod, sir. And also, I am having a line following feature and IoT feature, sir. So that it will be a complete personal assistant for the blind, sir. These three primary features would be very helpful for the throughout, sir.
And we are implementing for the
The other presenters kindly mute your side.
Murli, I think your voice is having some issues here. Kindly
Okay.
mute it.
Okay, good presentation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pakya. You can leave the room now.
Shall I close the window, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
somewhere the noise is there.
I think some one presenter is joins from that side only the noise is coming. If anybody is joined, any participants join? Now it is fine. Participants, noise is coming from your side.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Now it's okay, ma'am.
No.
Hello.
No, we are hearing some sound from your side.
No, ma'am. There is no noise, ma'am. Myself only present, ma'am. I am alone, ma'am. Now it's okay, ma'am.
No, we are getting heavy noise. We are getting heavy noise from your side. Once again, you log out and once again you. Okay, now.
Now okay, ma'am.
Yes.
No.
Hello.
Now it is fine. You
Okay,
can
ma'am.
start your presentation.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. I am from PSNA College of Engineering Technology. Myself, G. Sesi. My batch members are Dr. S. Vijay Prasad, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, and also Mr. A. Prashant, Assistant Professor, PSNA College of Engineering Technology, Dindigul. We are in the same department, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Start your presentation, ma'am. Already your screen is already shared. You start
Yes,
your
ma'am.
presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Bilateral. Our topic is
Ma'am, just
bilateral.
Just a minute. Take
Okay.
7 minutes, only 7 minutes for the presentation, 3 minutes for query.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Plan
Yes, ma'am.
according
Yes,
to
ma'am.
this.
Okay, ma'am. Today my proposal is bilateral filtering based finger vein image organization. So our proposal is mainly based on or mainly intended to for the security purpose. So the presentation flow will be introduction, objective, existing system, what is the proposed system, problem definition, block diagram, tools, and conclusions. So in the introduction section, in previous days we are using the RFID method, biometric system method by using for the pattern recognition to identify our to secure for the security purpose. The different types of it is analysis of the various psychological or biological characteristics with respect to the iris or fingerprint based recognition systems. It is mainly for online banking as well as the e-commerce methods. So from that we are going to the different method called as the fingerprint. Apart from the fingerprint, we are using the finger vein type of method of security service for ensuring the credential of the data. So the vein pattern is the network of blood vessels beneath the person's skin. The skin inside the skin, the veins are present. So the veins are analyzed by the sensors, and also we are implementing the image processing system. And by implementing the various filters, we are just taking the data set, and we just compare with our present what is the information we are collected. So the objective is in order to provide a high level security via vein based authentication will be proposed. in the previous methods, there is if there by using iris method or gate method or voice method or either fingerprint, if the image is not properly shown or it has some in a darker area, it will not be worked out. It will be easily cracked by the hackers. So for that we are getting to the new method. So the next will be a existing system. In this existing system, this I already said that fingerprint, iris, Gabor filter, match direction filter. The disadvantages are time consuming, and also the quality of the images will be not at all good. So for that we are go to the new system. So in a proposed system, we are implementing one observation model called the finger vein imaging, upon which a self-adaptive bilateral filter. So this self-adaptive bilateral filter is a non-linear filter, that is, it will automatically changes with respect to the data or respect to the image we are giving. It is not at all an even filter, even a linear filter. So this is the main advantage. So the data will be processed. The second part is the illuminance control algorithm. The algorithm we are implementing is a illuminance control algorithm, and it will be integrated with the image acquisition system. So it takes the pixel of the each image with the average weighted average of intensity value of the pixel, and it calculates the total rate of the pixel. So the main advantage is it has a better vein images, and it will not be easily tracked by the hacker. So the problem definition maybe is nothing but if the images in the previous system, the images are not clear, it will not give a correct output, and it will not be compared by the image acquisition system. So for that we are going to the next type of system. So the flow graph of the system will be a finger image, there is a finger vein image acquisition system, image pre-processing system, database, and matching and accesses will be granted. So in this finger with the image acquisition system has a first initial set of data. What if the person enter into the any ATM or anything, they are giving, they are just pressing the button, they get the data from the finger vein image acquisition system. There's the second was the image processing. The filter will be implemented in the image pre-processing system. So here we are using the matching filter, that is apart from the Gabor filter, we are using the bilateral filter. Then it will be given to the database system. The database system will compare the existing database which is already collected, that is stored by the secured person or any authority, and it will give the matching of the two type of data sets, and the final process will be the access will be granted to the particular person, whether he will allow or he will not be allowed. If the two images are not matched, the access will not be granted. This is the flow graph of the system. So this will be explained by myself. This first one is image acquisition, image pre-processing, and the scanned vein images are pre-processed in the self-adaptive bilateral filter, and the database we are already having. Then the matching will be done by the matching unit, and the last one is the output. The filter we are using is a bilateral filter. This bilateral filter, as I told you earlier, the bilateral filter is a non-linear filter, where Gabor filter is a linear filter. It only compute the linear set of data, and also a particular amount of frequency will, or any type of frequency will be present in the image. So it will create the distractions or distortions in the image, and the matching will not be happen uniquely. So for that we are using the bilateral filter. So by using that bilateral filter, the convolution process will be easy, and the image will be smoothly preserved, and the edges also be preserved uniquely. The last one is it's operating either in the frequency domain or time domain with respect to the range of the image. This is the importance of the bilateral filter. So this is the keynote equation for the bilateral filter by having the function, that is I dash of u is equal to summation of this we can. So the first term is denoted by the this denoise factor. Then the second one is the future preserving. The third one is the normalization. The future preserving is nothing but the vein of the scanned vein. The properties of the image function or properties of the image will be characterized by this function. So here we are using the tools called as a MATLAB. So this is the loaded finger vein image. Then the image will be pre-processed. Already in the images are only grayscale images. So the image will pre-process in the pre-processing system. The output will be like this. Then adaptive illumination control. So the algorithm we are using adaptive illumination control. The algorithm is applied. Then it also smooth with the help of the filter. It smooths on the image. Then this is the magnitude of the Gabor filter. The Gabor filter is here we are not using. We are only using the bilateral. There is a matched filter. Then last one is the e-identification scheme. The person who are pressing the device. The illumination adjustment. By using the algorithm, we are the illumination of the image will be adjusted. The sparse representation. The sparse representation is nothing but this is also the one type of representation. This is linear representation of the system. The images are the feature mapping. The filters, the image of the getted image, the received image, and the database image are matched by using the sparse representation. And the final one is the authorization. So the main advantage of the system or project is the efficient illuminate images and the self-adaptive illuminate images and effective performance. So there is a very less amount of chance by implementing the bilateral filter when compared to the matched filter as well as the Gabor filter. So conclusion, so in this project we are implementing the finger vein images, but depending upon the image we are getting in the finger vein, the data will not be hacked by the hackers easily, and it will be the efficient method for security purpose. That is for today the transactions are all the transactions, mostly all the transactions are in a online way, so it will be a very good method to secure our credentials. Thank you. So in this method we are implementing a new called illumination control algorithm. So in the future we are implementing other new algorithms for the better performance. Instead of the finger vein, we are implementing a good fingerprint scanners. By implementing scanners, we improve this method to go to the next level. So these are the references. Thank you.
Okay, one clarification we need on project.
Yes, sir.
What type of sensor we are using?
Hello.
Can you hear in my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What type of
Yes,
sensor
sir.
you are using for vein?
Sir, in IoT, we are using by using now the recent trends are improved by all the things are implemented by IoT, sir. So in this IoT, by using the IoT method, we are implementing for vein itself. We are using such a PIC 6437. It is just like a vibration sensor, I think so. So if we implement that sensor, it will analyze the veins as much as easy for faster performance.
Okay. in your image.
So the sense.
In this project, what sensor you
Uh,
are using?
sir, sir is so I will I will refer, sir. In this, we are mainly focused on filters. So the sensor part is very not at all important. We are implementing the bilateral filter. We are giving more importance to filter only. So I will refer, sir.
Okay, okay. Already stationary image is there, mean we can detect. That is okay. Sensor part you are not.
Yes, yes, sir.
Right, right. Then you
Okay,
are
sir. I will.
told what type of
Yes, sir.
matching algorithm you are using in this your proposed method.
Sir, by image processing only we are matching by with respect to the pixels only we are matching the data sets, sir. We are already stored the data sets. That is scanned data set of the one person, any person. So that person is again entering into the or accessing the system. They are pressing, for example, they are pressing by his finger. It will match the data with the previous data sets. Then it will give the access with
This
respect to the
technique,
image pixel of the image, sir.
okay, I think the matching based on fingerprint basis or vein basis.
So vein basis, sir. So because we are implementing the fingerprint means the outer side of the skin only, sir. So we are implementing vein. So the pressure will be, what is the pressure? If we give the pressure, with respect to that pressure, the images or the vein images are already present in the data set. So it will match with the previous image, and it will be okay means the access will be granted.
Okay. Your sparse features you told it is a linear or non-linear.
Sir,
Last
sir,
slide you mentioned.
this matched filter, the previous filters, the Gabor filters, are linear filters. It only compute only the preferred set of data. So this much of data only, this type of images only it can analyze. So, but in our proposal, we are using the bilateral filter. So this bilateral filter is both act as a linear as well as non-linear. It can change depend upon the images.
In your
If
presentation, you
any
are
type
not.
of images, sir.
You are in your presentation. You are not shown any results. Work result. Are you
Sir,
presented or not?
yes, sir. We are only shown the
Your
images
diagram.
only, sir. Yes, sir. Diagram.
Oh, okay. Okay, madam.
Hel-
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Sir,
Hello.
sir,
Madam, completed.
all batches over, sir.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಸರಿಯಿಲ್ಲ ಇವರು ಕಾರ್ತಿಕ್
Yes, sir. We can
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್
see.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಚ್
Few minutes we can wait, sir. Any other participants they are joining, you can let me know.
சார் சார்ட்டு அப்படியே வேறு எத்தனை பேட்ச் இருக்குன்னு சும்மா கேட்டு
It's Sendil sir, one more batch has joined now. Participants, can you able to hear my voice? Participants, can you able to hear my voice? Any participants have joined? Sumita ma'am, Sumita, Miss Sumita, Miss Sumita, Miss Sumita, have you joined? Can you able to hear our voice? Sumita ma'am, Miss Sumita, hello. Miss Sumita, please bear with us. I think the presenter is joining. It will, due to the network, it will take few more minutes to join. Smita ma'am, can you able to hear my voice?
Hello,
Hello,
மேடம்.
sir.
அடுத்தது கனெக்ட் பண்ண வேண்டியவங்க யாருன்னா
Sumita, I think she is entered to the room, but she is not getting our voice. I think so.
மறுபடியும் ஒரு தடவை ஆன் பண்ணி இது பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
Ma'am, can you able to hear my voice, ma'am? Ma'am, switch on your mic. Audio and video. Check your audio and video in your side.
இல்ல
She has joined, sir, but no.
ஒரு தடவை ஃபோன் பண்ணி பார்த்துருவோமா?
Any participants has joined? No.
Ma'am,
Sir,
ma'am,
வரல sir. We are waiting.
நீங்க ஒரு நிமிஷம் வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணுங்களேன். இப்போ உங்க மவுஸ் எடுத்து அவங்க பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் லிஸ்ட்ல வைங்க. பிரசன்டர் செந்தில் சார் இல்லாத அடுத்தது இருக்குல்ல, அதுல ரெட் கலர் எஜெக்ட் பிரசன்டர் இருக்கா?
Eject. Turn video off ஆனந்தா சார் இருக்கு. எங்க eject பிரசன்டர்ல வைக்கவா? eject பிரசன்டர்ல வைங்க. பிரசன்டர்ல இருக்கு சார்.
எஜெக்ட் பண்ணி விட்டுருங்க, அவங்க திரும்ப ஜாயின் பண்ணுங்க.
இப்போ யாரும் ஜாயின் பண்ணவே இல்லை.
Those who are not responded correctly,
okay,
you just eject them.
Okay,
they will rejoin again.
Sure sir, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, dear participants, the 4:30 session will be closed. So kindly join quickly. Exactly 4:30 session will be closed. Thank you.
Somebody speaking.
Sir, the new team is joining now. Wait for some time, sir. Few minutes we can wait. The new team is now going to join.
Yes, ma'am. Now can you hear my voice?
We can able to hear your voice. We can able to share your screen.
1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it fine? Make it full screen. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We are getting the full view. The session going to be closed by 4:30. Please, you take for your presentation 7 minutes. We have the 3 minutes for queries. You can just plan your presentation according to this.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am and sir. Myself, Tejasvi. I'm from RMK Engineering College. Hello?
Yes, continue.
Continue.
My project name is Design of Automatic Vehicle based on fog density. Mainly in this automotive vehicle, it monitors the density of fog present in the outside regions. Actually, we have used an DHT22 sensor. It calculates the temperature and humidity, and based upon that, it calculates the dew point given on a formula. So that based upon the value of dew point, we can get to an estimation that how much fog density is present. And these are some of my literature surveys I have taken from net. In this proposed system, initially DHT22 is being used. It calculates temperature and humidity, and dew point is one of the given formula. And if the dew point is less than 2.5, it indicates the presence of fog. If the dew point goes below 2.5, indicates much more indication of density is much higher. Actually, we have DHT. From DHT 22, it calculates temperature, humidity given to Arduino Uno. It is 80 mega 328. From there, it calculates a dew point where initially we have given in a programming of a formula. From there, if the dew point is less than 2.5, it gives indication to the motor shield vehicle shield of L293D, and also for the app to display us later. From if the dew point is more, means the fog density is more, it controls the vehicles automatically in the road. So how much acceleration we have given, it does not allow the driver to go forward. This is the block diagram of Arduino, this all, and these are the mainly components we have used for this project demo. And for the software, we have taken embedded C and Arduino IDE. This is the formula to calculate the dew point, where TD is the dew point which is calculated. T is the temperature, where DHT22 sensors take temperature, and RH. RH is relative humidity, means percentage of water present in the atmosphere. So based upon the dew point is been calculated. These are the results output that I have taken from the my project, where initially relative humidity is calculated. It is given in percentage, where temperature is also calculated like in Celsius. As shown is in the before, using the formula, it calculates the dew point, where it indicates 6.60, means it indicates the presence of fog. And this all can be also displayed in our smartphone while using an app which we have developed using a Blink software. It also indicates the humidity, temperature separately, and moisture, and graph is also shown. If further, we can also add other components like the rainfall in centimeters and all. Due to this, accidents in mainly in hilly regions can be controlled, and over vehicle of the vehicle can be also be controlled. Further scope, this model can be implemented again using in potholes detection and others. These are also some of my references from journals taken before. Thank you.
Go to your proposed system.
Hello.
Go to your proposed system, block diagram.
Okay, sir.
Share your screen once again.
Okay, ma'am. 1 minute. Workflow.
Proposed system.
Okay, ma'am.
Sir,
Okay, next go to block diagram. The previous.
Okay, block diagram or
is this one, this one.
or flow workflow.
I think if you are using Blink software,
Yes, sir. It for the software, I mean, for the development of app, separately we have taken. Actually, only this right side part was first our initial idea. Again, we have developed the left side for app, smartphone. Also, the driver should also know, and in case of any emergency and other situation, the other people should also know where is located and what might cause the accident. For further scope, we have developed this app.
okay, how to interconnect your Arduino with what is one app in your app in the mobile?
Hello.
How
Tell
to
me.
connect your Arduino system with your what is one Blink software?
No, sir. In Arduino, we have used Arduino IDE software, sir. Blink is software just to develop an app. That's all. We have nothing implemented in that.
Are you using IoT in your project?
IoT means we have used Mode MCU, sir, for transferring from the cloud and all. Mode MCU we have used, sir.
I think it is not mentioned in your block diagram.
Yes, sir. But we have. Yes, sir. It was not.
Block diagram.
Yes, sir. It was not mentioned there, but we have used Mode MCU, sir.
Oh, it is not mentioned then.
Yes, sir. Sorry for
Then
that.
for that purpose only I asked you.
Sorry for
Okay.
that, sir.
Okay. Your what is the sensitivity of your what is one DHT22?
It's a 0.5 to 1.15, sir. Degrees.
Temperature sensor. For
Yes, sir.
humidity,
Humidity, it ranges from 60 to 120, sir.
what sensor you use?
DHT22.
It will sense both things or only temperature.
No, sir. Temperature and relative humidity. It calculates both. The DHT22 sensor is specific for this. Calculating this too, sir.
Okay, right, and good procedure.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you
Uh,
for a nice presentation. You can
Thank you.
leave the room. Okay, you
Thank
can
you,
leave
ma'am.
the room.
Thank you, ma'am.
Other presenter, start your presentation. Share your screen.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sharing.
Make it full screen, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, could you see, ma'am?
Yes, yes. You can proceed, ma'am. Take 7 minutes for your presentation, and we have 3 minutes for queries, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
You
Thank
can
you.
start your presentation.
Good evening, all. Good evening, faculty. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Myself, Lavanya, working as assistant professor in ECE department from MBGR College of Engineering, and my co-authors are Professor G. Satbhushan Rao sir and Mr. B. Srinivas. The title of my paper is GPS receiver position improvement using hybrid GTKF algorithm, that is genetic tuned Kalman filter algorithm. The outline of my presentation includes what is GPS and the main principle, what it involves, Kalman filter algorithm, genetic algorithm. So Kalman filter and genetic algorithm has been performed, and the combination of these two algorithms has been taken as the hybrid algorithm. And then from where the GPS data has been collected, the results, conclusion and references. GPS introduction. So what is the main principle is actually GPS has many applications like tracking, navigation and positioning problems. And because of ever increased demand of user accuracy for the position accuracy without using augmentation techniques, and the position accuracy of GPS mainly depends on parameters like number of satellites and their location in space, error modeling and navigation algorithm. So we have taken here navigation algorithm as the parameter into account. And the GPS principle, that is, it is mainly based on trial iteration. Trial iteration is the process of determining absolute or relative locations of points by measurements of distances using geometry of circles. And to determine the position in 3D, we require minimum of 4 satellites. And here we have taken more than 4 satellites at a time. And the basic principle here, that is Kalman filter. Kalman filter is a dynamic filter and it is a recursive filter. It is mostly used for all the parameter estimation. So it mainly consists of 5 basic steps like prediction and correction. And in prediction, we have 3 steps. That is step 1, it involves 2 forms. And in second phase, it involves 3 steps. And which has been taken as in the Haeckel form. That is, you can see here the project head. That is state matrix and state covariance matrix has been taken, from which Kalman gain has been computed, and then error estimated using this measurement, and then error covariance has been estimated finally. And for any optimization algorithm, that is like genetic algorithm or any other, we require fitness function. The fitness function or the cost function is calculated by taking the pseudo range here, and that is pseudo range which we already know from the parameters. And based on the satellite coordinates and the receiver coordinates, we can also get one more pseudo range, which is the observed pseudo range. So this, if we subtract from the whatever we have, that is the observed pseudo range minus the calculated pseudo range, we get the net function that is taken as the error. So error here is taken as a cost function. And then genetic algorithm, which is the basic algorithm used for selection process, and it is basically a natural selection process, which includes 3 basic steps like selection, crossover, and mutation. And actually, the work involved here is in selection, we have 3 different methods of selection like random selection, roulette wheel selection, tournament selection. And the results has been performed for all the 3 selections. So this is the algorithm for which we can take. So initially we have to take the population selection, so which has been chosen randomly. And then fitness function evaluation has been done, performing the 3 steps selection, crossover and mutation. And then comparison of position for 3 different selection methods like random selection, roulette wheel selection and tournament selection has been made. So here if we see, random selection has performed better compared to roulette wheel selection and tournament selection. And here if we see, the time has been taken for 2 hours duration for the whole day, that is for the span of 24 hours. And if we see the convergence graph for random selection, minimum it has taken of 60 iterations to converge, whereas here for the GA, even for roulette wheel also it is like 60 iterations, and for even tournament selection. Whereas if we take the hybrid, it will converge within a single iteration. So that is the main thing why we have gone for hybrid. And the data collection, actually real-time data has been collected from dual frequency GPS receiver located at Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. And the data captured by the RENEX format, and it comprises of mainly 2 files, that is navigation file and observation data file. The navigation data file generally includes 22 ephemeris data from which satellite position can be calculated. And the other file, that is observation data, from which you can calculate the pseudo ranges. Actually, while calculating the fitness function, this pseudo range will be of use. And this is the experimental setup for which the data has been taken. And this is the GPS receiver, which is of Novatel make, which is located at Andhra University. And this is the data processing unit, and these are all the software which we have to perform. And the interpolation is the main thing based on which we get the accuracy. So it depends on the algorithm how you write and perform it. And what is the proposed or the main thing involved here is the hybrid GTKF, which is the integration of Kalman filter with GA. So the output of Kalman filter, which is the error obtained from calculating the pseudo ranges and the observed pseudo range. So this has been given as input to the GA to get the improved receiver coordinate. And if you see the performance analysis, we can see there is an improvement of 3 meters, 6 meters and 2 meters in terms of X, Y and Z coordinates as compared to GA. And if you compare with Kalman, we have 15 meters, 23 meters and 7 meters improvement when compared to KF. So conclusion is, we can say that hybrid GTKF performs better compared to individually if you take Kalman filter or genetic algorithm. And these are the references. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Where we are using GPS receiver system in real time?
Sir, basically GPS receiver is like a static, sir, which we have to like to perform any real-time data. We need to have initially installed here. We have it at Vijayawada one place, and we have it at Visakhapatnam one. And after performing algorithms, means like on starting, then we can use it for real-time, sir, like for prediction of stock market, or based on previous data, we can predict it, sir.
Here, now, other than Kalman filter, what are other dynamic filters there?
Advancement of Kalman filter only we have it, sir. Like improved Kalman filter is there, sir. One more, and we have least square also. Like it is not a filter, but which is used previously. The filter is only Kalman filter, sir, but an improvements in Kalman filter are there, sir, like in dynamic filters.
These are dynamic. For a stationary purpose, what are filters we are using?
Sir, for stationary, we can use least square algorithm, sir. Filter is not required, but even for stationary, we can use Kalman filter also, because it can do for both static and dynamic.
Here you are using the genetic algorithm.
Yes, sir.
What is the main purpose of genetic algorithm in the?
Actually, sir, any optimization can be used, sir, but here I have used genetic as the thing to reduce the error, sir. Like here, we get data from the GPS receiver, no, sir. Like based on the satellites installed in the air, we get some data. and we'll be predicting based on GA optimization algorithm also we'll be getting some data. So the deviation difference in that we get it to be error. So that error minimization purpose here GA has been used, sir.
Other optimization algorithms.
Sir, yes, sir, like Firefly and PSO, particle swarm optimization, and even like ant colony optimization. All these methods can be used.
Yeah, which one is the best one in the optimization?
Actually, we cannot say this is the best, sir, because we are calculating position in 3 coordinates, sir, x, y, and z. So one algorithm is giving better in one coordinate only. So we are still trying like any algorithm which gives better performance in all the 3 coordinates. But still now we did not achieve that, sir. So still work is going on in that area. So this algorithm has been performing better in x and y axis only. So z coordinate it is showing much error.
What is the resolution of your GPS?
Sir?
Resolution, location resolution of the GPS.
Resolution, sir, like it is maximum of like 15 to 20 meters, sir.
Okay, nice, good presentation. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, CIT, for giving me opportunity to present.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So one more batch is there.
Okay, madam.
Roshini, Miss Roshini, make it full view.
Yeah, ma'am, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Make it
you.
full view. Make it full view.
Okay.
Madam, you can proceed, ma'am. Now you can proceed.
Yeah.
7 minutes for
Good.
your presentation.
Okay.
3 minutes for queries. Plan according
Okay.
to this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir and madam. I'm Ms. Roshni from RMK Engineering College. Our project title is Deep Learning Based Detection and Categorization of Infant Brain MRI Abnormalities. These are the overview of the contents inside the PPT. Is getting into the project. Like nowadays, brain abnormalities and brain defects are very common among the newborns. And at the early stage, when it is as a fetus, it is very difficult to identify the defects. And once the baby is out as an infant, when we take the MRI, the size of the brain is so small, and it is very hard to accurately find the changes in the MRI, and hence to find the defects. So our project is to find a solution for this with the new technology, deep learning. Yes, and we here detects the parabolic pediatric brain tumor, and with the MRI diagnosis, and we do automatic CNN segmentation and classification here by building a strong neural network. The accuracy of our project is increased compared to the existing ones, and the output which is actually got from the previous results are pushed into a web server using IoT technology, so that can be used for the future analysis or monitoring. Yes, MRI is a tool for brain imaging, and 3 in 1,000 pregnant women give infants with tumor. So there are mainly 2 types of tumor, and one is benign and malignant. One is benign is non-cancerous, and while malignant is cancerous tumors. So your project is here to find those. In common, the symptoms of brain tumor is like vomiting, frequent headaches, abnormal size of the head in babies, abnormal eye movements, loss of appetite in babies, difficulties in feeding, weakened arm sensation, and these are some of the very common symptoms to find whether the infant is having some defects. And these are the literature surveys we made for this project for the analysis. And in the existing part, it already in this project, in the existing system, it identifies only very few variations in the brain and not all. And the segmentation part in the image processing is done manually, so it is time consuming. Classification of the classification is done using SVM, which is time consuming. And the advantages in the existing system is in the manual identification, it is a tedious process to manually identify the different parts, and it can even leads to human diagnostic errors. The algorithms are complex and time consuming, and the computation speed is also high, but the accuracy is less. But in our system, we use deep learning techniques, and which involves 4 stages. One is pre-processing, enhancement, feature extraction of the image, segmentation using CNN, and classification. In the pre-processing is done using linear gray level conversion, while the enhancement is done with histogram equalization and using 2 filter operation, IM filter and IM subtract in the MATLAB. Then the feature extraction is done with the gray level co-occurrence matrix, and the segmentation and classification done using CNN with the trained network. And for pushing the data into the web server, we use IC Max 232 and this Wi-Fi module ESP8266 for serial communication. Data transfer, and the updation of the web page is done. This can be done for future analysis and monitoring. And these are the main advantages of the proposed system. The system is highly reliable and has a good accuracy rate, has better noise handling capabilities. It avoids human diagnostic errors. The computational speed is high, and the process of time consuming is comparatively less, and the data is remotely can be monitored, and because of the updation of the values in the web page. And here the block diagram. First we feed the input, the MRI scanned input is given to the system, and the pre-processing stage is done, and in enhancement part, using the filtering operation and the enhancement is done, and the extracted image is then fed into the CNN segmentation part, with the trained data set. The features are classified, and the classified output is fed to the serial communication UART module, and using the Wi-Fi module, the data is transferred and updated to the web page. And this is the flow diagram. It starts with feeding the image, and next it comes the gray level conversion. In the pre-processing stage, we use histogram equalization and IM filtering. All these image processing is done in the MATLAB software, and then the enhancement phase. Then comes the feature extraction, and feature extractions are done with the gray level co-occurrence matrix. Then the convolution network is the trained convolution network is fed, and the input is fed into the network, and the output is given to the IoT module, and hence updates the web page. These are the hardware components which we use, is IC Max 232 for your communication, RS 232 for the for connecting the system along with the Wi-Fi module. The Wi-Fi module for data transfer is ESP8266, and these are the specifications of hardware modules we use. Wi-Fi modules, it has a range of 2.4 gigahertz, and it has 16 GPIO pins, general purpose input output pins, and this is the connector for connecting the both the system along with the Wi-Fi. Uh, and in the software components, we use MATLAB for the image processing and also the deep learning. In this, we use two toolboxes, and one is deep learning and image processing toolboxes. We use MATLAB is because in general, MATLAB is open source, and the accuracy rate in MATLAB will be high comparatively. And getting into the working part, and in the left side are the images, testing images. So we can select any test images and give us an input for the first level of pre-processing, which involves gray level conversion. And in the and yes, and next goes the enhancement part. Once we click the OK button, all this process are done on its own. But we have actually, for better understanding, we have given different pictures of this. And in the histogram equalization done, and the gray level values are plotted in the graph. The output of the I am in the filtering function, there are the filter which we use is the IM filter and IM subtract function for filtering. And the output of this is a multi-dimensional filtered image, and hence with the GLCM, we get an enhanced image. This is done with the four main features. One is contrast, homogeneity, correlation, and energy values of those pixels. Then this image is fed into the network for segmentation and classification, with the already trained CNN network. And the results will be either the MRI has any benign malignant tumors, or either it is normal. Then the output is fed into the IC Max 3232 and through the connector, and the results is updated in the web page using the Wi-Fi module. These are the output, and in the left side it is the output which is displayed in the system, that is in the MATLAB, and the right side is our web page, and those are the different outputs which is actually get stamped along with the time and date, which can be used for future purpose for analysis and the workflow. Yes, here comes the results. In general, our CNN is trained with 600 MRI images, and 300 for malignant and 300 for benign. And the results is also viewed in MATLAB as well as in the IoT web page. We use the IoT web page just for remote monitoring or for future analysis or prediction. Yes. Once the system is tested, we tested with 100 input images. In this, we got the true positive outputs as 74, false positive as 4, and false negative as the remaining. With these values, we ended up in getting the accuracy rate of our project. Yes, with these two formulas, compared to the already existing system, which uses SVM and a CNN, which is respectively 83 and 86 percentage. Our project is getting an accuracy of 90.36 percentage. Yes, and to conclude with, we are trying to find a solution for this infant brain tumor using a current technology. The results are promising comparatively, and we could achieve a better accuracy and efficiency. And the cost of this system is very slow. Is very less, and it's comparatively very simple. Our future works will be on increasing the data sets to increase the accuracy rates, and also in transverse learning, so that the machine can itself learn on its own. These are the references of our system, and thank you.
Okay. Where you got the MRI data for your?
So,
MRI
you have
data.
taken the MRI data for
Where you got for to do this?
Yes, actually, our teammates, one of our teammates, his brother is actually working in this part and deep learning, and he had those MRI, and he worked along with us in doing these projects, and that's how we got this data set. So.
No. The real-time application means we need a collaboration with any government sector or any hospital-based only we can get that from, right? Then your thing is a CNN now, you know, for deep learning CNN,
Hmm.
your project.
Yes.
What is the existing other deep learning concepts?
Yes, sir. In this project, already existing is done with supporting vector matrix. So,
Okay, now
hmm.
here a noise is a compared to complexity, noise is less you mentioned in the advantages. How you are
Yes, sir.
how your justifying your noise is good
So the
than
already yes, compared to the already existing system, we give more importance in the filtering part, sir, using IM filter and IM subtract function, also in the extraction part. So naturally, in the output, we get better results because of those less noise.
now. I having one doubt in histogram equalization. What is the main purpose of histogram equalization?
Hello.
Tell me. We
Can
can able to hear.
histogram equalization you mentioned, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What is the main purpose of histogram equalization?
it's reducing the noise, sir.
Reducing noise or
It's also a filtering function, which so that the values get plotted to the ne- near the values or like
are you heard about histogram plot?
yes, sir.
Hey, what is the purpose of histogram plot?
In general, you're asking or
You are used to histogram equalization concept for
yes, sir.
trying. So we are asking what is histogram?
Sir, if there is histogram is generally used for reducing salt and pepper noise, I guess, and so if it for the average values, uh, the the gray level values get matched to it, so hence it can
Histogram,
reduce the noise.
histogram means it is a graphical representation of gray level and top. It is a
Yes, sir.
distribution of the gray level is called histogram equation. Okay, this is
Huh.
accurate. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Tom.
presented
Uh,
by the
Thank you.
Yeah,
You can
thank you.
leave the room. You can
Yeah.
leave the room now. Thank you, participants. I think we have ended our session. We have completed the second day of international conference. First, I would like to thank my sincere thanks to our chairman to give this opportunity to conduct the international conference to this pandemic period. Next, we need to thank our department coordinator, that is Dr. Dhanagopal sir, who has initiated to conduct this international conference. Without the initiation of sir, we are not supposed to do this this kind of conference. Next, we need to thank our department faculties and also keynote speakers. So keynote speakers, without the keynote speaker, we are not able to conduct this international conference in successful way, because they are spending their time with us and they have shared their expertise with us. And then our department faculties, those who are all involved in our international conference, Dr. R. Nanaka ma'am, and Mr. Kripa Sankar sir, Mr. Sendil Kumar sir, Mrs. Archana ma'am, Mr. Eric Clapton sir, those are all involved, and all our department faculty members who are supported to conduct this international conference. We sincere thanks to all the faculty members of our department. Once again, the last but not the least, we need to thank all the participants who has registered for our conference. Without your support, we cannot able to conduct this kind of online conference in a successful way. We need your support in future also. And one more thing, we have the international seminar on July 2. All the participants, those who are all registered for this conference, you can also join this international seminar also. In that, we have the two speakers, one speaker from IIT Bombay and another one person from Dr. Fernando from Canada. You can utilize this chance to attend this session. You don't miss this session also. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your support. Need your support for further program also. Thank you all. And also one more thing, we will the certificate for the international conference will reach your mailbox within 2 days. Within a couple of days, it will reach your mailbox. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We can see in another. That is, we can see in the July 2 international seminar.